Hi Hinsters, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome too. Happy Monday Moon Day. Please take a look at the description box below for information on my current offers and for the dates of this transit, for the timestamps and all that jazz. You can watch my previous videos on Venus in Gemini, where we talked about this goddess Venus and that transit. So today we return then to the streams of creme brulee as Venus enters the cardinal water sign Cancer. We have a mellow, a mature moon in Sagittarius, setting the tone for this transit. Of course, also amidst an ongoing Mercury retrograde in Taurus. The moon brings a softer peregrine tone to it all, and Venus, too, also has this softening effect. And with Mars in Cancer too, there is this heightened, wise washing over of the uncomfortable rages or the over impatiences. And we are helping the hurt now, or those who are lost or stuck somehow. There is this frowning, this simple knowing that something is up, but it's like a mother telling a kid what they ought to know better about while not actually saying the words. And we get more hunger now for like spiritual summer, though we are still kind of like making our beds. Now is also actually a good time to just be a decent human. There is this emotional cooling, and we even have reconciliations here. Yet it is still a canny time or a canny idea to keep passive under the clouds and the steam of all this shadow season feminine energy that is only going to get stronger. We go back now also over memories and kind of more passionately or ardently. And we have also here 69 energy. This is Taurus sextiling Cancer, the beautifulest time to embrace sensuality and carnal partying after dark type stuff. And cardinal Cancer energy often brings about these softer urges to flex and to ponder masculinity as expressed in its like more subtle ways. And it's quite actually a fascinating moment. And I would like watch the quote unquote men and boys around you to see how this sort of flowers up for you and in your experience. We are also continuing actually to just plod along, planting more flowers here, watering plants there, kind of talking softly to the trees and waiting for the bees. And we can honor here too our families through rituals. And with Cancer, we kind of echo the Thema Mundi and thinking more about things like the environment, our environment. And there are like these sentimental aesthetics now, worldly aesthetics, not really in the material sense of worldly, but quite literally embodying the world, the sphere, and admiring its shape and its cycles and its curves. Venus rules cycles and circles, and we take time to become attached or reattached to things. Now, Cancer season, when it comes along, is that time when we can easily actually be returned to face certain cycles and circles that we should not be stuck in anymore, but we still are. Cancer season is always going to be that big karma claw season that kind of washes over us and tries to really wash away those dregs of bad habits and cycles, basically, and kind of dead circles. Now, we do take time to become or learn from the mother, and we're kind of here lies a sort of vibe of being both the mother and the older brother in spirit, and slowly breezing by, while all the while knowing that it's like a better the devil you know type of affair, that a little following of serendipity as well could go a long way. This is that Sagittarius moon tone, and there's also some injury or nursing or hurting going on, yet there's so much like love and camaraderie that pain almost blurs like into the atmosphere, and it's easier to breathe and plod along merrily. We get to more of this like exciting sort of inkling that we are making our own destinies and that the wheel is turned, not only turning. And there is a beautiful opportunity, I think, for us to look at the sweet small things and like just be amused and charmed. And we can decorate our space as well and make things more cheerful, more vibrant. And we may also find ourselves suddenly tearing up, simply or seemingly out of nowhere. And we are riding, of course, the full moon eclipse in Scorpio that we had, which is a wave lasting up to 6 months. And Cancer knows all about riding waves. I do think with this little Sagittarian setting of the Venus and Cancer stage, we have also to give a little more and to hurt a little more for someone or something, and to learn lots about that divine feminine magic of bending and not breaking. And some things will get broken, but they were already always supposed to, and that's anyway very Taurian, very Taurus shadow season stuff. Sagittarius is also ridiculous, and the moon rules fools, and we get here this easy vibe to tap into, laughing lightly at each other and at ourselves, and to just be like a little more comfy with the wariness of waiting and with the impulse and the itch of expectation. So let's go through all the rising signs just briefly. Cancer rising, let's start with you because this is a Cancer transit we're talking about, Venus and Cancer. So naturally, yeah, we're going to begin with you and the world rising. That's what I like to call you sometimes, and the mother and that karmic crab, and the elephant too, that rarely forgets and has more of an emotional uprising now, and a great time to strum that instrument of yours and announce that kindness is not weakness, or that the mother is not simply a matter of naive servitude. This kind of theme can crop up for you, and we know you are about to change something foundational. And Venus comes knocking on your door, boosting your aura, delivering that glow. And finally, for some of you, you can breathe easier, and nightmares become more like silky ribbons that you're like tying around closed books. That's kind of the image I have got for you. And to the Venus Rising native, I always think it's good to beware of who you attract now, especially with Mercury retrograde still ongoing. And things get kind of a bit like Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat for some of you. But with all this like feminine shadow energy, it's better just to be like the Queen of Pentacles in the tarot, if you're familiar with the image, and how she's just kind of bowing her head and her eyes are kind of closed or looking down, and just kind of accepting what is rightfully yours from the gods, and also confidently keeping hold of what you've always kind of had or rightfully earned. And those friends as well that you've had for a decade or more, they will also make more of a powerful appearance. And finally, Cancer Rising, don't be afraid to measure. Now, Venus rules measuring, actually, and weights. And we get a bit of that Venus Libra ruled expression, but measuring weights. So don't forget to allow yourself more of that measuring and to give only to those deserving now, and give to the pricks the snip. Leo Rising. Well, what can I say? I think Venus, is entering for you a secret joy of hers, the 12th house, and it's super sexy time. This is affairs and orgies and nighttime picnic time. And I see a lot of you retreating a little bit from the limelight now and enjoying the fruits of your labor. For those who've been having a hellish time as well, there's that softening now and that deep, sensible understanding somehow emerging from the other side. Especially like when you're tapping into that Libra third house energy of yours, the rationalistic assessment of things. A beautiful complement to the clause of Cancer, by the way. I think you may also need to blend here emotional and intellectual intelligence a bit more. This is that square energy coming through a bit. Venus rules dyes as well, and the mixing of colors. And dreams may be more vivid for you, or perhaps you start seeing the world more vividly. And perhaps that like hidden gem part of you returns, and you're laughing and you're joyful and you're also very giving and beautifying of things and people. And some things may be like wilting or slowing down for you. That is possible. But I feel this is really so that you can retreat more into yourself. And being ruled by the sun, Leo Rising, we can't ignore that it's Taurus season and that you're still going through a very intense 10th house affair. You're still strong in the flavor and the favor and public light of life. So that's not going away anytime soon, I think, for you. But, and so there's still much to be affirmed and celebrated about things like your career and your calling. All right, Virgo Rising. A little interruption to your usual programming, maybe. I feel like, for example, your friends, they are experiencing more joy right now, and you are rejoicing with them, probably, possibly, hopefully. And there's something being stirred in you by what's happening for your allies, your friends, and the kind of circles that you are running in, whether that's physically or digitally as well, or a bit of both, long distance friends or family. And it should so easily feel good, Virgo. Mercury retrograde still. I hope you are, I guess, taking more of that backseat and just riding with vibes. And that Sagittarian tone, right, is creeping in and asking you, Virgo squares Sagittarius, right, asking you to live a little and laugh a bit at what's going on. And sometimes all we can do is laugh, right? And I see you kind of also putting more effort into your friendships. So the effort. And maybe you've also been planting some seeds for things that you're really like wishing for. Venus is also a lot about your ninth house topic again. And here we are again talking about the ninth house for you, Virgo. And we've been talking for Virgo risings about getting into teaching or guiding or having some bigger sense or renewed sense of their right way. But for those who haven't quite yet tapped into that higher optimism, Venus should surely now be bringing you like a softening of the dark clouds, and may well be you may well be asked by this goddess to stand up and give a little song and dance to the skies. And if you have a dream journal, for example, be sure to like continue using that, and also looking back over it and reflecting and learning and just laughing at some of the little discoveries and confirmations that you've been making over the months or years of your records. Libra rising. Okay, obviously important for you, Venus, your life path ruler, and entering a cardinal sign. So calm down. It's about to get bigger and higher, and a lot of you can enjoy being pushed and nudged a bit to get into the spotlight. And this is like joyous affirmations of your track record. How lovely, right? And just be sure, I'd say, to not keep things too formal or stuffy. You can express things like politeness through simply returning gestures and favors in ways that just make other people feel good. You know, there doesn't have to be a set dialogue, and not necessarily does it have to be done through ways that make people say nice things, but nice things that are empty things. So just focusing more on feeling than formality. Now, it can be also a big time to tend to your bonds. And the crab claws of Cancer, by the way, were in ancient times. Libra, basically, Libra was this constellation, was the claw or the claws. And these claws can also be used for you to close a chapter or to break away from a bond. It is the retrograde though, so don't be too surprised if it doesn't quite break off how you expected. Allow yourself, I guess, to be pleasantly surprised, Libra. And Venus in Cancer should alleviate any anxieties about your future. And I know that you know, and I know that you can so effortlessly utilize your curious and go with the flow side to unlock some special things about yourself or for yourself. This is like an excellent time to check in with your emotional well-being. It's a great time to put yourself up and out there publicly and to beautify your image and profile. So as always, these sort of 10th house energy things is perfect LinkedIn or Instagram or CV public sprucing up time. All right, Scorpio Rising. This is trine energy, so arguably the best aspect in traditional astrology. This is magical energy right there. And what an uplifting time for many of you Scorpios. You know, this is like deep and wise for sure. And many of you are starting to feel better, and you don't need to brush away wishes that you once had. That's an image I have for you. Pay homage as well to your wishes and your desires, and keep them sort of tucked under your wing, and don't neglect them or underestimate like the power to grow big things from small things. A very lovely sort of uncle type or wise type of person could deliver you so much love and teaching during this time. It's a time also to make strong bonds with teachers or teacher types, like anyone who has that teachy-ness about them, and for some to even like find romance there. Yes. We all know Scorpio Risings can have that side to them, you know, falling in love with the teacher. And I also see Venus as well. Venus in Cancer, this time being a great time for you to consult an astrologer, yes, or to talk more openly about things like your dreams and what they might mean. I'm talking about actual dreams in your sleep, and the signs and symbols. And I know you usually, Scorpio, love this kind of delving, abstract stuff. So just like be merry and ask questions and share and see what you find from other people too. And for some of you, there's like a trip abroad with a partner. I don't think that would go amiss. And it's so easily a time for you to make magic happen. Although, as always, there's that trick, right, of being able to switch from fixed to cardinal water, to put your feelings first, and also to see if you can master emotional reciprocity as like a means to negotiate better with others and to just forgive more, like forgive more readily. You know, after all, life is just a bit too short. Okay, Sagittarius Rising. Again, we've got this health thing coming up for you. Like, what's going on, Sag? With some of you. I think for some people, it's like a concern, and for other people, it's like an over big thinking or zeal, even to get onto health or something to do with your health. And I think there's a great opportunity to learn more just by looking at other people and their own issues. And some of you can get, you know, a lot of rest and rest easy now as you get good news regarding your health. And like you find that there was just like nothing to worry about. Venus in Cancer is also kind of making you want to take charge of others. And maybe you find that this is more possible when you adopt that mother angle and you tone down any typically spicy Sag tendencies that don't tend to work so well in a feminine or shadow season. And you might also be learning, Sag, some secrets about your friends. Just keep plodding along and like don't let over curiosity get you in a stitch. Cancer energy often has us somehow willing to form like symbiotic bonds that we should probably be avoiding. It is, though, gonna be an easy time for you to reap some things that you've been owed and to, yeah, make some strong alliances. This is eighth house stuff coming through for you. But I'm feeling that at the same time, there's like some noise or riffraff that you need to just close your eyes to and keep embracing this Taurian energy of keeping things chill. And remember, Mercury retrograde is always secretly the gods, right? Kind of turning their attention to you and the Jupiterian way of doing things, aka just being and just following the good, the bold, and the blessed. Okay, so I'm glad I got my coffee, by the way, just to keep tippity top and topped up. Capricorn Rising, then, a very big transit for you. One of the easiest times as well to get more serious with someone if that's what you're looking for. Proposals, marriages, business partnerships, sealing the deal, and all these seventh house ways, all that fun stuff. Also, making up with people, like just letting bygones be bygones. There's a recipe here also for going on a lot of fun dates. So it's not always just like serious commitment here. It could just be like having a lot of fun. And if you have partners already, they could be getting a glow up or things are getting better, easier for them somehow. And you may also more broadly notice that lots of other people in your life are more lovely now. They're more easygoing. Maybe have this kind of rose colored glasses thing going on for you, or you just have more of that gentle, chilled, laid back way of looking at things. And you could kind of want to get down and dirty with everyone. And there could be like one or two people in your life who are just, you're just like quite simply awestruck by. There's just something where it's like when you're, on a promenade or something, just looking at the sea, the waves, and that's kind of how you're seeing someone right now. Doesn't have to be romantic at all. Could just be like a friend or family member or colleague, and you're just looking at them and you're like, wow, awestruck. And I would say during this transit, there's a need to get a move on with something, to oil your wheels a bit, Capricorn. You might find it's better to focus on your feelings as well, rather than the function or the use of things. Try not to use people during this transit, because it'll kind of bite you back in the ass. Dip more also into emotional intelligence when it comes to your relationships, toning down the harshness or the overthinking or the over comparing of yourself to others and other things. Just see like how lovely or cute or gorgeous someone or something is, and kind of leave it at that, or keep it like natural and flowing. And control and battling with the theme of control could be big here for you, because this is oppositional energy as well, Capricorn. So things can get a bit leery, and if they do, just bake a cake for someone or for yourself, or do something fun with your bestie that you always used to do, right? So it's retrograde energy, lots of Cancer energy, Taurus energy. So just like that bestie you've got, do what you always used to do. It doesn't matter if you used to do it 2 decades ago. If it's fun, do it. Aquarius Rising. Okay, Aquarius. Here, your health can become more of a concern. Yeah, things could feel better. Maybe good news comes around the corner, probably because Venus is a benefic, so usually she's bringing better things, softer things for all of us. You do need to look at your chart though. Things could feel better if you're higher up as well, or like in charge of people at work, let's say. Take this transit as the cue to be that mother and to teach through caring and those strong, like nurturing gestures, which could be kind of alien to some of you, could also be surprisingly pleasant for everyone involved. And obviously, this is a great time for you to beautify, beautify your home, or your living space, to make it cozy. And you might find this a great time to take a purposeful trip abroad, especially somewhere you are returning to, or like somewhere where you've had nice memories or you haven't been for ages. Now, the fourth house also has been just quite poignant for you currently. I feel like we've talked a lot about this in videos. And as Venus rules your fourth house, you may simply be continuing to pay homage to your past, to your family. And perhaps you just start feeling that your foundations are getting gentler as well. Maybe like the sea, the storm is kind of calming now for you. And even things that were unfortunate get this softening to them. You could be like developing this higher way of seeing things as well that comes seemingly from nowhere. This is fourth house stuff, right? And I just feel that for Aquarius rising generally, there's always something very special and surprising when you start to get into the feminine divinity of Cancer, Taurus, sextile vibes. So have fun with it and see where things take you. Pisces. Okay, Pisces rising. Okay, we've got Venus entering her joy for you. Yes, the fifth house. It's Venus's joy. And of course, we've got this beautiful water sign trine magical potential. This is just one of those super brilliant opportunities, I think, for you to really put forth how you communicate and how you feel. And we know that that very much involves love and putting love first, and love is the drug and all of that fun stuff. Obviously, some of you may find that this becomes overpowering for others and even for yourself. And the way that you're speaking or relating to others might give some people the wrong idea. And similar to with Cancer risings, you don't want to be attracting parasitic types to your surroundings or your space. Or maybe you do, maybe you're very messy. That's, do you? Maybe some Pisces risings have been stuck also in like a heavy, rutty feeling with all this Taurus activation in your third house. Maybe, yeah, you've just been really in that rutty feeling, and it's been really hard for you to try to get out of that, even if there've been lots of illuminations or attention drawn to that. Venus comes now to kind of soften all of that up and remind you of the springly beauty of things and the spiritual promise of summer. And even like anxieties about your future get alleviated here, Pisces. It's excellent energy for forming like simple but also serious bonds and contracts with other people, because this joyous Venus also rules your eighth house. And as ever with trine energy, it's easy for you Pisceans to get swept up by it all and a bit confused about where to place your energies. And Cancer cardinal water energy invites you to prioritize yourself more. You are allowed to indulge for yourself, and you are allowed to have your own desires for yourself. So you don't have to be this all encompassing chameleon for everyone all the time, every day. No. We are the crab, the mother, this Venus transit. You're allowed to put yourself first. Okay, anyway, Aries Rising. We started, right, with a big spring bang for you, and Venus gets or enters this like angular house of yours. It's very important for you guys usually, any Cancer transit, and you get this temptation to get big and bangy again, right? Especially things at home can be heating up. It's important, I want to say, to adopt more of that mother energy and to stay in tune with how others might be feeling. And a lot of you will find yourself somehow devoting more to your partners and other people generally. So don't be surprised if you like find yourself giving to charity when you used to be like very self-focused and like tunnel visioned. Cancer transits often show you that the ram and that wild horse Cancer spirit, those spirits aren't so different, and that they're both quite like headstrong and forward blasting. This is a nice time, I think, to head back home, whether you can do that literally or not. You may find that your feet are like jerking as well. There's this like restlessness, but not for the reasons that you expected. So you could be really taken aback by something. And it's easily in this typical square type of agitation, because Aries squares Cancer. It's a typical time to start paying homage to something more foundational again. So something under your feet, kind of causing some itch, so to speak. Maybe to get you moving, but also maybe to get you to focus on being rooted or going back in some sense somewhere. And if you're the type to have already been jumping here and there and everywhere and to plant your seeds and have oodles of like springly fun, now maybe more of a softening or balancing transit where you're already like envisaging how your spiritual garden is going to look and like how many plants and flowers and fruits can you really handle. So you might be getting a little bit more realistic, maybe still wanting to add lots and lots of stuff, but there's this sense of nurturing now more than just jumping to and from. Taurus rising then. Okay, Venus, we know, is your life path ruler, and so this juicy sextile energy with Cancer is so raw and revealing and tempting. And I see a lot of you being more giving and loving to siblings, to neighbors, to friends. And if things have been a bit stinky for you, Venus certainly brings better days. If you are the spiritual type, it's a transit for like going back and paying respect to goddesses and for just getting more into the vibe of your divine femininity. And the way you relate to others as well is becoming more adorning, more gratiating, and maybe you're giving away more of your things or more of your thoughts and your feelings. and things around you can just seem nicer, Taurus, and it can feel like things just work better when we feel each other out and like embrace what I'm always calling the give and take of things. And the body and the health, especially, can improve here. And this does include mental health, personality, general energy, and like the aura of your very self. And it can be an opportunity or a great time to hire someone near you to provide some service. And if, for example, you actually work with hair or beauty, like textiles, lots of these Venusian things, this could be a busier time for you and also more of a joyous experience. Right, who we got next? Gemini. Hmm. Gemini Rising. Finally, to finish, we know, okay, we know this is still Mercury retrograde as Venus has entered Cancer. We're getting closer and closer to Cancer time. We get it. A lot of things have been on you, and Gemini, maybe that pressed you down, or maybe you just started to give less of a frig as well about things. A lot of 12th house energy has been affecting you. I think also for a lot of you, Venus is like bringing great fortune for your sacrifices. And there's this softening of what has been lost or what is getting snipped away, right? The claws of the crab. Some of you will be playing your role and finishing things up properly. You're doing the right thing, which is nice. You're being a bigger person, which is nice. Sometimes Gemini risings can struggle with that duality of the the angel and the devil, the twins, right? But I see a lot of you embracing more that angel side more of the time than not. And some of you will like sort of be starting to put good effort into ending things. And this is stuff like working towards leaving a job or heading abroad. And those of you who've been much like more chill or you've slowed the gears down, you're going to be making this move from like teenager spirit, spring spirit to like mother spirit. So already kind of really like I just see you being very aware this year of Cancer season. I'm very aware of the mother season coming and that what we all know is a very big karmic season. You're aware of the wash that is to come. And I don't know, I just see a lot of you getting very mature and ready for it. With a lot of fun though, of course, because Gemini Rising's not a stranger to keeping things interesting. And I see that you've got some big dreams or projects that you're still putting energy into, that you're still excited about. So it's not like you're going super serious or changing it up so much. And I would say for some Gemini risings to stop putting futile energy toward things. So anything that still isn't working, maybe now's the time to just like be like ciao. And I know and also to know when to just end something, when to get real and bring those Cancer claws so that you can just end something. And like the chariot or like the crab, just move sideways and let something pass you by. Sometimes you have to do that and just breathe and just get away from that thing. And it really is this weird for you spiritual inner mix right now, Gemini, of loss as well as good fortune and focusing on what you actually desire for your future livelihood. So I'm very excited for your future, Gemini. And all of you, let me know in the comments how your Taurus season is going, and as Venus progresses through Cancer, how that is affecting you and where you have Cancer in your chart, if you have any natal placements in Cancer, because that's going to be very exciting or significant. And yeah, have a nice Monday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.